Hey everybody, it's Carolyn. I'm not really sure whether I've got volume or not. It's kind of a little hard to tell sometimes. I guess that I do. So I'm going to move forward here and I'm going to show you a little something. I'm working on something, a difficult part of the family tree because it goes far enough back that it's hard to find good resources unless you start to get into actual brick and mortar archives and you start to look at real books that were published by actual human beings who did, like research. So, immediate gratification many years ago, before I understood that Ancestry was full of crap, meant that I was going through and I was just adding stuff willy-nilly. And so if you see Nicholas Pearsall's facts. There's nothing there right now, but there used to be. There used to be lots of other people's trees, which is how I established what I have here, which is not a ton. And you can see the format's crap, like the brother who was born in Hempstead, but it was a year before or a year after Dad died in the Isle of Wight in Virginia, which is total crap. They did not live there. Anyway, so I'm looking just at Nicholas, and I found something that I think that you should see. Hints says that there are 5 hints. Now, I haven't looked at this yet, and I'm not going to because I want to establish some other stuff first. And 1689 is after he was buried in New York, and I know that's true. So this right here, crap. So I'm saying bye-bye to that. Now, I want to point something out. This record family, this record group, complete and utter crap. And here's why. It's a trees index. So you see, it's an amalgamation of lots of people's trees. And what do we know about lots of people's trees? They're crap. Yeah, I'm kind of living in crap land right now. I'm actually writing an episode about crap and how much crap that there is out there in my heritage and in Ancestry and how it is poisoning FamilySearch. But in particular, I'm working on Nicholas, and I'm looking at this, and it's just not right. It's just not right. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to ignore and feel very, very good about it and get rid of these with their little X's. Now, this is very important. You may have noticed on Ancestry that you go to a person's profile and you see that they have 7 hints. And when you go and you look at the hints, 3 of them, it says hint no longer available. And then the other 4 are there for you to peruse and to decide about. Well, I wasn't really sure what that was about. And I was along with some other people in one of the few Facebook groups that I belong to complaining about that. And the answer came through from someone who knows Ancestry better than I do in terms of the inner workings of the company. I've only been invited to the picnic with them once. They asked me to be on a call and gave me information that I would be able to disperse to listeners via the podcast. But they haven't asked me back, and that's probably because I'm uh, snarky. So, I mean, I wasn't snarky in the meeting, but obviously my tone is snarky in the podcast, and I don't just fall in line and say how great Ancestry is all the time. So, this woman is invited to the picnic a little bit more than I am, I guess, and she told me that in fact, what's going on is Ancestry is looking at hints and is ripping out bad ones. Now that is what brings me to Findagrave. We all know that Findagrave has issues. It is a one world great big cemetery, and that means that there is, or should be, one representation of every grave for every person who died and was planted in that grave on the planet, right? That's our ideal. However, there are a lot of duplicates, and Findagrave has been doing a pretty aggressive job over the past year of merging duplicates. And I know I've certainly been reporting duplicates when I've found them. So here's what you do. Whenever a record comes up from Findagrave, the first thing that you do, as with all other records, is you review it. And in reviewing this record, the first thing that I have to do, see here's my face, and I can write a comment, okay, is to go to that record. And the reason I'm going to that record is that I want to see whether it exists or not. And lo and behold, there were two identical records. One, they both had the same information about the decedent, but then one had other family members linked to it. Well, this is the first one, and it's merged. So here's my responsibility, and this is what we must all do. Go and write a comment that says memorial, or the memorial has been merged. Do not use. I don't know if you just heard, but Santa Morgan just had something to say. Then you submit that, and then you say no to it. Now, what are we left with? The record I'm going to look at later, and here's the Findagrave index. Insect? Really? Am I that tired? I'm not sure. Oh dear. Okay, well, this indeed was a Quaker family, which is interesting. They didn't like Puritans. They hated Puritans. Oh, I just love how these people all hated on each other. It's like, let's go to the new world where we can be free to hate each other. Anyway, so what do I do next? Same exact thing. This, in fact, is the record. It is a result of the merging. Ooh, he was the Flushing Remonstrance. I think it was Remonstrance. I think there's an R missing in there. Anyway, so here is Nicholas's profile. That's cool. I didn't know that this existed. I think I'm going to have to go there because it's nearby. So, happy days. It exists. And let's look at the facts. 1619, 1617. Okay. I don't see, this is the only other thing. I'm going to request a photo because the only other thing is, and this I always say because people will take a picture of a stone and it's completely we'll add that little bit as well. This is important because people take low-res, crappy photos that don't really show the information on the stone. It just shows the stone itself. Welp, you know what? There are lots and lots of brown sandstone stones out there. There are lots of slate stones and markers and stuff like that. Doesn't really help if I can't read it. So I'm sending that out. I'm saying yes to this, so I'm going to put it away. And at the moment, I'm going to believe 1619. It can always be changed, right? Okay. So now I'm going to add the record. He was not born in New York. He couldn't have been born in New York in 1619. See what crappy information I got from other people's trees? And I'm going to expand that, and it's Flushing, and it's not United States because it's 1689, my friends, when a little thing called British colonial America existed, and the United States did not. So there you go. And I'm sorry, I'm playing with my mouse. My mouse is being somewhat uncooperative. If he died in 1689, it was in March. Pretty sure he was buried in 1689. Popping it in there. Not that important if I get it wrong. It's okay. Nobody dies. Except obviously him, but he already did. And actually, here's the other thing I should have fixed. I should have edited this because we want to be clean about it. Oh, wait, that's not what it, well, it doesn't matter. To make sure that it doesn't stay United States of America and all that kind of stuff. So, okay, so what's the point? Why am I making this video for you and putting you through tortures? Because it turns out that there are a lot of hints out there that are not helpful. And that one hint in particular that can be a duplicate and that you can help to get off the system is a duplicate Findagrave memorial. And So that's really, really, just a little useful activist thing that you can do in your work to help make Ancestry a better place. And then, of course, by extension, FamilySearch. So let's carry him over to FamilySearch super quick. Here we go. I'm going to connect him. There are all these different spellings of the name. There's Pearsall, De Pearsall, Pearsall, Parshall. I mean, just 50 bajillion. And you can see FamilySearch's data is over here, Ancestry's is over here. All it says is England. We're going to take Eccles Hall over. Not sure whether it's correct or not, but the one thing that we do know is that it is in fact the information that was provided by somebody on Findagrave, and therefore it's at least debatable. Oh, except that this is the wrong guy. Look at that. No, it isn't. They just got his birth wrong. Because how's he going to get married in 1640 when he's actually born in 1640? How's that going to work? Also, Mary Sarah Van Dam. Okay, that's entirely possible. So the next thing we do, there were only so many families, and the Pearsalls and the Van Dams did intermarry at a couple of levels. Let's go like that. And we're carrying over a correct date and place. We have actual evidence right there that's a source. There are no sources here. We're correcting the format so that it's March instead of Mar. And it's British colonial America, not United States of America. And we have a source. And then we have the burial. I hate that. That's what I wanted to fix, but I'll deal with it. This says Mary Sarah Van Dam with you don't spell Van Dam D-A-M-N. It's D-A-M-N. I mean D-A-M-N. Makes me crazy. Okay. And then the last thing I'll do is I'll go ahead and bring his wife down. And I'll connect her here. Go to her here. And then I can actually transfer data between the two again to bring over the information from FamilySearch that may well end up being incorrect, but that I will clean up. Now see, here's the problem. Here's another thing. Oh, I'm so annoyed by this. She could not have been born in 1621 in Queens. Queens didn't exist in 1621 as far as I know. That is not correct. I am sure that she was born, well, I'm reasonably sure that she was born at another time. Also, this can't be her death date. It's her husband's death date, and I just don't buy it. And the biggest sin of all, Marianne Drayton, you're on my list. GEDCOM data is not a source. It's in my tree is not a reason that is like a document or something. I will accept that she died in Jamaica. I will not accept her birth date or death date. I'll take that, and I'll take that, and I will work them out on Ancestry. Sometimes pulling data from FamilySearch is only purposeful when it provides the opportunity to correct it on Ancestry and then carry it back over. Let's see what kind of hint we've got. Oh, look at that. That's where that came from, kids. That's where she got it from her GEDCOM file, Van Dam with an N. And it's from the ever popular U.S. and International Marriage Records, which is, wait, can I hear it from you? Yeah, do I hear it? Yes, that's right. Crap. Ignore. So that's it. That's me being a little bit annoyed today, unlike every other day. And that's me being frustrated because there's so much garbage out there. It's just stunning. I'll look at the wills later. I just don't feel like dealing with that. So that's pretty much the deal. I just wanted you to see this is a very, very important aspect of what we can do when we're working in Ancestry, and especially if you're someone who's carrying data back over into FamilySearch, pull it off FamilySearch and either correct it, substantiate it, or get rid of it, delete the person, or whatever's necessary on FamilySearch, because it's without proof this is all just nonsense. This is all just absolute nonsense and people needing something to do on a boring day. So with that, I leave you and love you. I love you and I leave you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.